morning. I'm so happy to be here with you. My name is Janet. And why don't we start with a welcome song? Can you put your hands up in the air like this? And down, up, down, up. That's it. Welcome, welcome everyone. Now you're here, let's have some fun. First we'll clap our hands just so. Then we'll bend and tickle our toes. Can you tickle your toes? Both feet. Welcome, welcome everyone. Now you're here, let's have some fun. Wonderful. Get 2 thumbs up in the air, and these are going to be your mousy fingers. One little field mouse sitting on a hill. Another came along, and then there were one called Hurry. Can you say that? One called Hurry. One called Scurry. Run away, hurry. Run away, scurry. Come back, hurry. Come back, scurry. Wonderful. Are you listening? Are you listening?
Yes, I am. Yes, I am.
Well, time for a story. Now, one day, a little mouse woke up and decided she wanted to go exploring. Her friend Rabbit said, "Don't go in the woods. It's frightening. There are big, scary animals in the woods." "I'm not scared of nothing," little mouse said, and she walked deep into the forest. She decided she would play jumping off a log. But then she saw something curled up under the branches. It was let's see what it was. It was a wolf. A big, scary wolf. Can you say that? A big, scary wolf. Little mouse said, "I'm not scared of you. Do you want to play?" And the wolf said nothing. The wolf just went and lay down. Little mouse decided she would go and play hiding in the shadows. But then she saw something sitting behind a tree. Let's see what that was. A bear, a huge, scary bear. What was it?
A huge, scary bear.
"I'm not scared of you. Do you want to play?" But the bear said nothing. The bear just went, lay down, and went to sleep. So little mouse decided she would jump on toadstools. She was having lots of fun when suddenly she saw something peeking between the leaves of the trees. It was yes, a enormous scary moose. What was it? "You don't scare me," said little mouse. "Do you want to play?" But the moose just went away. "It's fun playing in the woods," said little mouse. "Rabbit is wrong. It's not frightening here at all. But nobody wants to play." "Look, over there. There's a little house," said Mouse. And little mouse, get your micey fingers out, little mouse fingers, and you can go like this. Little mouse crept all along the ground over to the house. And then she listened beside the door. And she could hear sounds inside. I wonder who's inside. So she opened the door and it made a creak like this. Inside was a cat. A cute, furry kitten. What was inside?
A cute, furry kitten.
And the kitten said, "Meow. Would you like to play with me?" And Little Mouse said nothing at all. Little Mouse ran, and get your mousy fingers ready, ran all the way out of the house, past the moose, past the bear, past the... and right out of the woods, all the way back to where Rabbit was munching on grass. Rabbit said, Little Mouse, what's the matter? Are you scared of the big, scary animals?
No, they don't frighten me. It's the cute, cuddly ones that do.
Who is Mouse afraid of? Exactly. I wonder why. So let's do a chant together. We have bear. So this is a bear chant. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say a word or two, and then I'd like you to repeat what I said, okay? So we'll start. Bear.
Bear.
Scare.
Scare.
Bear scare.
Bear scare.
Bear scare a brown bear.
Bear scare a brown bear.
Oh, no, not a brown bear. Now do this with your hands. Prowly, prowly. Howly, howly. Think that bear is kind of growly. So we have Bear and Rabbit. And you know, Bear and Rabbit one day were sitting in a field and they were talking together. And Rabbit said to Bear, can you make little rabbit noses? Bear, you are so annoying. Every time you talk, all you do is scratch. Scratch, scratch, scratch. You scratch your head, you scratch your... You scratch your... You scratch under your... Scratch, scratch, scratch. What does Bear do? That is so annoying. That is a bad habit. And Bear said, you think I have a bad habit? What about you? All I see you doing is twitch. You twitch your nose. Can you twitch your nose? You twitch your shoulder. You twitch your foot. You twitch your cheek. Twitch, twitch, twitch. What does Rabbit do? Now that is a bad habit. Rabbit said, I could stop anytime I want. Bear said, I can too. Let's have a contest. When the children count to 3, everybody has to be still. Nobody moves.
1, 2, 3.
Nobody moved. Nobody scratched. Nobody twitched. Then Bear said, this is kind of boring. Like, why don't I tell you a story about what happened to me yesterday when I was very hungry in the meadow. I climbed a tree and I put my paw into a beehive and bees came out. And one stung me here, and one stung me here, one stung me here, one stung me here. Oh, they came out, they were scratch all over like Bear. Oh, they stung me all over. And Rabbit said, let me tell you a story about what happened yesterday afternoon. I was hopping through the swamp and a mosquito came out and it stung me right here. And another one stung me here. And another one stung me here. And one stung me here, and one stung me here. And pretty soon, they had, boy, he was twitching all over. Can you twitch all over? Oh, that's funny. It's hard. It's hard to break a habit, isn't it? A bad habit. It sure is, said Rabbit. Now, I used to have a bad habit when I was your age. Sometimes I got to school late, and sometimes I didn't return my library books on time. So maybe later you can tell me if you have any bad habits. I think most people do. So we've met Mouse. So let's do a little mouse chant. Mouse. House. Mouse house. Mouse house in my house. Oh, no, no. Not in my house. Let that bad mouse out of the back door. Does anybody have any mice in their house?
Yeah.
Yeah. Does anybody have a cat?
Yeah.
Yes. Are you listening? Are you listening?
Yes, I am. Yes, I am.
One day, a little mouse, and you can make a little tiny hole, little mouse looked out of the tiny hole where she lived, and she saw a huge apple. Oh, where is that?
Ma, that little mouse went hiding on me. Here you are. Okay. Oh, that's an apple I would love to eat. I must bring it inside.
So she got a string and she tied it. You could do this with your hand. She tied the string around the apple, and then she tried to pull the apple in through the tiny hole. But the apple was too big.
Oh no, my house is too small. Perhaps I need to find a bigger house.
So little mouse left her house, pulling the apple behind her. She got hungry, and so she took, let's take 3 bites out of that juicy apple. 1, 2, 3. It was so good, it was so juicy. But just then, she spotted a hole in the ground that was a little bit bigger than hers. Oh, that looks perfect. So little mouse peered in to see if anybody lived there. And sure enough, there was a mole.
Hello, mole. I'm looking for a bigger house for me and my apple. Can I come and live with you?
No, sorry, mumbled Mole, but my house is full of books. There's not enough room for me and you and the books. Sorry.
Oh, that's okay, said Little Mouse. And Little Mouse, and you can get your mousy fingers out, walked away, nibbling on that juicy apple. Then she spotted another hole in the ground, a little bit bigger than Mole's. And she peered inside, and there was
A rabbit.
A rabbit, exactly.
Oh, Rabbit, please, can I come live with you, me and my apple? Please?
Sorry, no, not here. My house is too full of cabbages, too full of cabbages. Sorry.
Oh, that's okay.
And little Mouse walked away. And as she walked along, she nibbled more on her apple because she was constantly hungry. Then she saw another hole. And this one, you can make a hole about this big. That hole was a little bigger than Rabbit's.
I wonder who lives here.
She peered inside, and there was a badger. Does anybody know what a badger is? Yes, okay. And the badger looked up at little Mouse.
Badger, do you have enough room for me and my apple to live with you? Please?
And Badger barked.
Sorry, but my house is too small. I like to stretch out. Can you stretch? I like to stretch out on my cushions and snore. There wouldn't be enough room for both of us.
Okay, said little Mouse, and off little Mouse went. Now it was getting late. She was very tired, but there was something strange that happened. The apple was lighter for her to pull. She didn't know why, but then she spotted a hole this big. It was huge. And little Mouse said,
Oh, that looks big enough for me and my apple. I wonder who lives there.
So little Mouse went right up to that big hole, and she peeked inside, and she said,
Is anybody there?
and a big growled and said, Oh, yes, I live here. Would you like to come and live with me? And little Mouse said,
No, I don't think so. I don't think it's big enough for you, me, and my apple.
So little Mouse, get your micey fingers out, little Mouse scurried away, pulling her apple behind her. Finally, she saw a tiny little hole. She looked at it and she said, that tiny hole looks just perfect. She peered inside and nobody was home. So she crawled down through the hole and she pulled the apple behind her. There was an empty bed. Oh, I'm so tired. I think I'll lie down. I knew I would find a perfect home for me and my apple. And you know, she lay down in her very own bed. So I have a question for you. When she tried to pull the apple into that tiny hole, at the beginning of the story, it didn't fit. So why did it fit at the end of the story?
She keep biting and biting and biting.
That's right. So what is left after you eat most of an apple?
The stem.
Well, the stem is there, yes?
The seed, core.
And that's right, and a core. That's right, stem and a core. And that could fit in through the little hole very easily. Are you listening? Are you listening?
Yes, I am. Yes, I am.
Now this story comes all the way from India. Now they have animals in India that we don't have here. So tell me if you can think of what this animal is. Exactly. This is a story about, let's see, it's a story about Monkey and the Hat Seller. Now, a hat seller sells hats. And this hat seller had so many hats, he had to push them in a cart. Now, he had hats with big brims, hats with little brims. He had hats of all colors of the rainbow. He had red hats like your shirt. He had pink hats like your top. What other colors do you think the hats could be made of? Green. What else? Blue. Orange. Yellow. Yes, wonderful. And he even had a hat, all the colors of the rainbow. And he wore a hat on his own head. Well, he would push his cart filled with hats down dusty roads from one village to the next village. And he would sell his hats. But one day the sun beat down so hot, he was so tired. When he saw a big tree, he sat underneath it. And he leaned his back against the tree, and before he knew it, he was fast asleep. Can you be fast asleep and snore just a little? Yeah. Little did he know there were creatures hiding in the branches of the tree above his head. And when he was sleeping, those creatures crawled down and they got into his cart. And each creature took one of his hats and put it on their head and climbed back into the tree. And when the hat seller, let's wake up, the hat seller woke up and he looked at his cart and somebody has stolen my hats. Thieves, thieves, show yourself. Then he heard some sounds above, so he looked up. Let's look up. And there in the branches of the tree were, and each of the monkeys was wearing one of his hats. Well, the hat seller was so angry. He clenched his fist and he shouted, "Thieves, give me back my hats." Can you do that?
Thieves, give me back my hats.
And monkeys like to imitate, they like to copy. So the monkeys looked at the hat seller and all the monkeys went, and that made the hat seller even more angry, and he stamped his feet. "Give me back my hats!" And what do you think the monkeys did?
Copy.
Exactly, let's copy. Well, the hat seller thought, I have to come up with a better plan. So let's all think for a moment. He had an idea. And this is what the hat seller did. He took his hat off and he waved it at the monkeys. "Hello, monkeys. Nice to meet you." Can you do that? Take your hat off. "Hello, monkeys. Nice to meet you." And then the hat seller threw his hat down onto the ground. Let's do that together. And what do you think the monkeys did? Yeah. And the hat seller went and scrambled around and picked up all of those hats and put them into his cart. And then he pushed his cart to the next village and sold his hats. But he had to blow them off and clean the dust off a little bit. So let's do that. Okay, let's clean the hats off and blow the dust off. Nobody wants to buy a hat with dust on it, do they? Okay, so you've been wonderful listeners. And now, I wonder if you can start the way we ended, like this. This is a little goodbye song. Bread and butter, marmalade and jam. Let's say goodbye the way a big bear can. So you become a big bear. Goodbye. Bread and butter, marmalade and jam. Let's say goodbye the way a bunny rabbit can. Bread and butter, marmalade and jam. Let's say goodbye the way a kitty cat can. Wow, goodbye. Bread and butter, marmalade and jam. Let's say goodbye as nicely as we can. Bye. Bye, everyone.
Ottawa StoryTellers is an organization that promotes the art of storytelling in our community. The organization helps nurture and inspire both beginners and experienced storytellers, and also provides tellers and listeners of all ages with opportunities to come together to share and enjoy their stories. You can join Ottawa StoryTellers for workshops, learn how to improve your storytelling, or attend their live and virtual storytelling festivals. To find out more, go to their website at ottawastorytellers.ca and ignite your imagination.